Hello. If you're looking at the duration of this video, then please never fear. I'm just taking a look at all of the matches that you've played, and I'm not really going to go into like an in-depth analysis of each and every situation. I'm just going to try and see what we can see if we can make some criticisms, see if we can see what you're doing well, what you're doing poorly, maybe even talk about your opponent's mistakes a bit. And yeah, we can just get right into it. I think that Chaos Wagner is a pretty even matchup. Chaos does really well in neutral, but it is an interactive neutral because Chaos desperately wants to win the cycle. So while Wagner does have to take some very big risks to get in, she has another way to play that can enable her to do so in the cycle and in getting her buffs. So, and of course, killing Ozzy like everyone else. So the neutral's favored for Chaos. I think that with Sandwich offense, the offense is more even than it was before. However, considering Wagner's damage right now, as well as just her regular power against Chaos's slow Abare, I'd put the offense on her side. So it's a pretty typical zoner versus rushdown matchup. Round start, what you like to see most often from Chaos is things like up back, A claw. Some Chaoses like to do backdash round start, that's fine too. Up back claw is really strong just because there's not that much that Wagner can do to deal with it. Aside from doing something like run all the way up here and then assault JC. To make Ozzy whiff and to hit Chaos in the air. But as a result of up back being so strong round start, Wagner's 6-6C is not great in this matchup, round start. So a lot of the times Wagner just blocks, walks back, back dashes, the works. Oh, this is a button check. Whoops. So yeah, expecting to see up back here. Oh, we got a dash block. This isn't going to hit you, but you're lucky it's not going to hit you. You shouldn't have taken this buff. You really only want to take the buff after the backdash round start if you see certain options like Chaos up back or Chaos backdash. Things that make it so that your opponent can't punish you for this. Also, you should take shield. In this matchup, shield is a lot stronger in neutral than sword is. Okay. Could have killed Ozzy there. People will tell you that Ozzy fireballs are plus, which is true, but it's a bit misleading because they're plus for Chaos, not for Ozzy. When Ozzy does fireballs as the last special in the string, he's very vulnerable. Chaos players will usually try to do like 2-2x afterwards to make the button that you would kill Ozzy with whiff. But Wagner's 5B is particularly strong because 1, it's fast, 2, its recovery is really low. So if they do 2-2x, Ozzy doesn't come back up and bite you for the whiff punish on your 5B. So you could have killed Ozzy here, especially because they pressed another special afterward. Should have taken double buffs there, but this works out too. You take double buffs here at full screen. The only way that Chaos stops you is by doing like full run in spaced 2C or something. But like you could just take shield buff and then immediately churn IC214 and he presses 2C and dies, So it's very scary for him to do, but he has to, because if he doesn't, then he has to play against Wagner with 2 buffs in neutral. That was good. It was good that you knew to bait that. Dookie route. You should do the IC5C into ICFF route. Yeah, you're going to get mashed out there a lot of the time. I will say that in bracket or when you're playing somebody that you haven't played before, or maybe you haven't played them in a long time, layer 1 is generally to stagger them, you know, string them up, because you don't want to be keeping your pressure really loose and then just like randomly get hit a bunch of times and then lose, right? It's much more sustainable for you to play around things like their shielding and grid and all of that other stuff while putting yourself in harder to punish spots like -1 rebeats or at spacings where they can't really challenge your 5B after a -1 rebeat. Or safely no canceling and just waiting. You know, there's all sorts of other stuff that you can do. I would suggest staggering people because a lot of the time they're just going to mash randomly like this. This is a pretty random mash. Yeah. So the way that this sandwich oki works is they sandwich you up and then they do the stanced claw, which puts you in so much block stun that when they do this roll, you can't throw them out of it or mash them. It's VO safe, it's DP safe, it's very strong. And it's not really a 50-50 because you can't, there is counterplay to it, but it's pretty difficult. It involves like shielding the last hit of the stance claw and buffering a dash block at the correct time, which again is pretty difficult and has counterplay of its own. But it's good to be able to make them have to do more than just try to make you guess. If you choose to block cross up here, they could just 2A over and over again and hit you. And they can do it like 8 fucking times because it's mad cheap. So this is pretty strong. Yeah, it looks like you get hit there. Just know that throwing there does not work, DP does not work, VO does not work. Don't try to mash there either. You're going to get counter hit. You need to commit to the counterplay. And if you want to know more about the counterplay, then just message me or something after you watch this video, because I don't want to go over all of it right now. Nice. Yeah, you took the double buffs there. You should have taken them immediately, but I hope that you keep doing that. That's very good in this matchup. Super strong. If you're going to do this round start, this is something that you can do that beats up back and buttons round start. It can be kind of monka if they do backdash, but, you know, everything has counterplay. But you should do 2-4B, not 2-4A. So you do 2-4B round start. If they up back, you react with C-Drill. That's kind of the idea. If they did like up back Aussie, you probably hit them. You definitely kill Aussie. That's pretty nice. This is good. You have a lot of blocks. I would have taken shield first and then killed Aussie there, but you get double buffs here, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, there we go. Dookie root. You got to do a route there that preserves your shield, because if you do, then you combo them into the corner and then you can VO here. You would win the cycle if you had your extended combo, and you would have double buff Oki. Very strong. Oh yeah, and we're just getting mashed out on. I suppose for this one you could justify it and say that it was because they don't want to get thrown here in the cycle, but it was like at literally exactly the same time, so you're not sure on seeing those two mashes if they're just like letting it rip the moment they're in block stun or not. Oh, literally never do this. In my opinion, literally never do this against any character, but against Chaos especially, never do this. This is horrible. And the reason that this is horrible is because Chaos is a character who a lot of the time can just string you up with true block strings, even on shield, into plus rebeats, into 2-2x situations that make them safe from VO. he's just a character who's not as vulnerable as other characters to this kind of thing. So against him in particular, this is really bad. Also, something that Chaos players will try to do mid-screen is they'll try to set up a 2-2x roll mix mid-screen. It doesn't work mid-screen. You can just up back or even up forward on reaction to the snap. But yeah, definitely don't do that ever. This is a good IW. That's going to happen a lot. Nice kill. Double buffs, yes. Churn, yeah, churn IC 2 and 4B. Okay. Personally, I still would have been smashing CS, and I'll tell you why. If you CS here after getting this hit, then you extend the amount of time that your VO has before it runs out, and you can get a few more hits in before you IW, because you're going to IW here anyways, you know what I mean? Oh, never mind. You should IW there anyways, so that you can get your double buffs and whatnot. Yeah, that'll happen. Chaos, his mashing buttons are not great against Wagner, but so it's pretty common for him to be trying to backdash or trying to up back in your strings. So you want to keep that in mind when you're coming up with strings that you want to use. Nice tech. Yeah. See, it's the same mash at the same timing. Oh, awkward. Okay. Oh, he's throwing. Collusion? So the reason that I say that he's throwing is because he's given up all pressure, and his VO is running out. You could say that he just wanted to back off and get a huge leading grid, but the reason that I don't think that that's the case is because if that's the case, then you should be still concentrating and getting an absolutely fucking enormous amount of grid, because of the enhanced grid that you get from being in Veil Off while you concentrate. He's just kind of not doing anything. This is really weird. Oh, if he churned IC 2 and 4B there, he'd be dead and this round would be over. This game would be over. Yeah, run up a little closer before you do that. You need to space it better. But you have the right idea. And honestly, you might feel dumb for doing it sometimes, where like you're just like, I mean, yeah, yeet. But it really is that strong when you have CS. That's one of the reasons why he really, really, really doesn't want you to kill Ozzy full screen, because that means you definitely get shield buff. Something you could be doing more in these Ozzy strings is holding 1 AD. Ozzy doesn't have any Ozzy doesn't have any standing overheads, so if you just hold 1 AD and he's staggering you up, you're just gonna get a billion shields. He already used IC 2 and 4 there, but that works. IC 2 and 4 because you have CS, and if they jump over drill, you could potentially die. But if they jump over IC 2 and 4, then they're dead. Yeah, you have to run all the way up to them and then assault JC to beat up that claw like that. Oh, that was a really risky second buff. Okay. Oh, yikes. If you timed your button better, you could have counter hit him there. So the reason that I'm stopping it here is because we've already established in the first game that this guy is just mashing his goddamn brains out, right? Every time he gets put in block stun, it's just immediately a button. So why are we giving him a gap to mash in? He pressed 5cc here. I think that a stronger Chaos would have pressed 5bb and you'd be getting hit here. And a stronger Chaos would be shielding before they mash too, usually, but yeah, I think you get a little lucky here. I don't think that overhead makes very much sense, personally. Okay. Yeah, string him up. Oh, okay. Oops. I guess he just messed up, or he was trying to do something else. He might have... Yeah, he was just trying to do something else, I guess. God, I don't like these 6Cs so far. Your opponent's just gonna kill themselves. Just string them up. Nice. Oh, you don't need to be jumping around like that. You have shield buff. It's not his neutral anymore. Yeah, these 6Cs are not it. You could have killed Ozzy there if you used 5B. You should just... there are like some niche scenarios where you might want to use a different button to kill Ozzy, but for like 99.9% of scenarios, 5B is just gonna kill. It's gonna be your best button. Namely because if they try to dodge it with 2-2x, which I'm not sure if Ryer does, we'll see, then you won't get punished. Oh. That was a crazy people buff right there. You're a maniac. Mm-hmm. Yep. String. Stagger. You notice the buttons? Oh, that's tragic. You notice the timing of the button that you counter hit was exactly the same. That overhead worked, but... it's even the same string too. Like... These overheads are working, but in my opinion, they don't have a reason to be working. Like... Ryer hasn't shown that hasn't shown a habit of shielding at that timing, and you didn't really set up a timing either. You kind of just pressed 5B and then immediately 6C'd. So it didn't really look like you were hunting a shield here. It just kind of hit. And it just kind of hit him earlier because he like messed up and did something else. But like your strings, your offense isn't varied enough. You don't ever no cancel, you don't rebeat to -1 and steal a turn, you don't rebeat and then press a button sometimes, you don't try to whiff punish him, you don't try to assault, you're not trying to do anything but overhead him right now. So because 6C is a 26 frame move, your opponent should at this period of time be thinking, oh well, the Warboss isn't going to try and do literally anything to me, so I should just block. And then they'd be blocking these 6Cs and your turns would be ending really fast. You could also be getting mashed out for like literally every single one of these because we know that he's mashing a lot. But that's pretty much what all of these 6Cs should look like. Like they should just be standing up and blocking them. I don't think that there's enough mental stack, enough options on the table to make these 6Cs work. Don't mash there. You can't mash on the ICJC there, even if you shield. You are not plus. You like whiff punished his 2A. It was kind of funny looking because I think you were a little late on the button. The timing to press the button afterwards is different if they shield it, so I just double tap personally to catch both timings. Oh, that was pretty risky. Okay. Well, that was good by Ryer. Ryer should be concentrating a lot more, honestly. Concentrate's cheap. Nice. See, I like this string because Because at these periods of time in the string, Ryer's clearly trying to do something. Like, I'm not sure what it is. It might be up back. It might be, you know, trying to, like, do something with Ozzy, but they're standing up. So this is good. You have to do staircase here. Good. Oh, we missed that. Oh, we're just getting hit. VO here. Yeah, that's fine to go for the throw. You haven't done it yet. They're scared of dying. Should have CS'd first so that you'd be gaining meter here while the IW is killing them. But that's just like a little optimization. Chaos looks so cool when he's doing his stuff. Other than just like holding 180 in the Aussie staggers, another thing that you should be doing is, well, that time they did a faster fireball, so it's hard to react to, but you should be reacting to the fireballs when you have the chance and just green shielding them. You should also recognize like when they do a bad string and the fireball will miss so that you can just kill Ozzy there or just drill at him. They stop doing strings like that when you get to like Snappy or Ghostada's level. Or Jake's level 2. Jake is pretty solid. Yeah, those you should be able to use those kinds of strings. They're not very good Aussie strings. Yeah, he's just blocking the 6Cs now. He's doing something, man. I'm telling you, just stagger. Just stagger, go for your, you know, rebeat button. Layer 1. No reason to get fancy. No. No reason for them to press shield again. The 6C isn't gonna work. Well, it shouldn't. Oh, awkward. They actually could have won there if they converted better. Yeah, that's fine. You take shield buff first. Shield buff is the one you want, and then take sword. But take both. Because this match would be over already. This game would be over already if you took shield and just churned IC 2 and 4 and slammed CS. You gotta beat your chest like the great ape you are. You know? Oh my god. That happens sometimes. even to players like Snappy and Ghostada. Yeah, these 60s are not it. When do you play again? It's you versus Leffel next, I think. Leffel's a pretty one-track player. Kind of just VOs a lot on defense, mostly on wake up. Does a lot of the like T2X J fireball stuff against Wagner. Doesn't respect shield buff. That's just off the top of my head. They don't throw very much either, like almost never. So this should be a pretty easy win if you just get your shield buff and meaty with 4 AA or like 5B at a range where VO would whiff. That's the strategy I would go with. This matchup is pretty bad for Phonon, I think. Phonon can't use her fireballs in scenarios where she can against every other character because FF exists and shield buff exists. And when it's Wagner's turn, her offense is much stronger than the other way around. Round start, Phonon can be pretty safe. Nigh unassailable, actually. But that's not a big deal because you don't have to get in at round start anyway. So this is a tough match for Phonon. All button check. Man, you guys are nerds. Let's go water. Oh yeah, they could do that too. B pillar round start is very strange when they don't have like literally any resources, but it can counter hit. It can counter hit you trying to 660 round start or jump or something. Yeah, shield buff, kill him. Yes, excellent. No resort, not 100 meters, so you don't have to meaty with teeny tiny buttons. Nice assault. Okay, I like this. VO. Definitely should have VO'd here. So if you VO here, you don't kill off throw, but you do kill off literally any hit. And you have CS, so a throw would be very, very close to killing them anyway. This buffed ICFF into CS is pretty wasteful. I think that it's very wasteful because you could just meaty them. They don't have 100 meters, so they're not going to VO or like CDP. So you could just meaty normally without spending CS and shield buff. It's just wasteful. Also, I would suggest well, ECS immediately because you're trying to like beta reversal, but she doesn't have a meterless reversal, so you got to keep that in mind. Oh no. That works out. Yeah, they really shouldn't be trying to press around start. Yeah. It looks like you're expecting a reversal there. That's fine. You've got plenty of time to plenty of butter, and you're about to get CS, so that's fine. I like that. So first of all, they're not allowed to do that. This 2-2x into fireball stuff just doesn't work against Wagner. Period. Because you have FF. They are not allowed to do that. And they're extra not allowed to do that because you have CS. So, you know, in this scenario, right, it's very easy for you to, you know, see that this is happening and then FF here, and you break this fireball, right? FF breaks fireballs on frame 3, and then you see Super Flash, you smash CS here, IW. Hit them out of the sky, get double buffs, you win. Should I IW'd? No, no, no. This was a good block by Leffel and a bad overhead by you. They don't have to press D anymore. If they get shield broken here, you have to think to yourself, like, yes, it worked, but was it a good idea? You know, like, was this supposed to work? Should this have worked? And the answer is no. And it doesn't work here, but they don't block that, so the game's over. These overheads are a real problem, in my opinion. Okay, I like shielding it. It's not like, you know, they're too far away, so it's not like you're going to get FF drill or whatever. Nice shield again. Yep, you're at full screen, so that 3C doesn't work. Get your shield buff. This is good. You react to the jump, so you use the IC2 and 4B to hit the landing. That's good. No reason to go for throw here. You could literally just... assault is fine. They don't have a reversal, so you could just do meaty JC or meaty assault JC, and it would get you a block or be grid neutral if they block it and keep you ahead. And you're plus as well, so it's a good way to keep the pressure on it like that. Should have shielded that fireball. Remember, if you're not going to FF the fireball, you should shield it. Also, again, not allowed to do this. FF drill. Okay. Yeah. Pretty much checkmate scenario for phone on there. Even if they do C pillar here, you can CS on reaction and then punish after blocking it. That was good. You meatied. And you meatied with 2A2, so you were baiting the VO at the same time. That was good. You just mistimed. But that's okay. That happens. We're not perfect. No. Your opponent doesn't have a reason to press shield. They haven't shown you that they shield at this point or this distance, this point in the string or at this distance either. I have no idea why they were mashing VO, but if they were just mashing normally, you would have got hit. They could just be blocking it because they're very easy overheads to block. There's nothing else to look for currently, even though I know that you know how to present more options than that. Maybe it's tournament nerves and you kind of feel like you gotta keep the pace up, but these... against players with decent defense, these overheads don't pressure anyone. They want to see only overheads because those are easy to block. It's a 26 frame overhead. I think I mentioned this before also, but you're taking shield a little slow off of these VOs. Or not shield, sorry, sword. A little slow. So you're not getting the frame advantage that you should. She's dead. Literally dead. You ended the game there, by the way. FF drill. No meter to cancel into anything, as if it would matter. You have CS anyway. CSIW on deck. So you FF here, drill, and then you do drill follow-up, or you just drill CS, and then you do your regular combo in the corner, IW, she dies. This game's over. Whatever else happens in this game should be viewed as a consequence of not punishing Luffle for doing things they're not allowed to do. What in the world? This VO is kind of akin to the ones that I was talking to you about a few days ago when we played. This one's pretty wild, but even though it hit, you shouldn't care, right? Because they up back, they don't even try to take a turn, right? You back tech because that's a good idea. Okay. There's 39 seconds on the clock, around 115 meter in VO, and it's ticking down. They're across the screen. Okay. You have almost full HP, and they're a throw CS away from dying. Or literally any hit off of any starter from dying. So even if they open you up here, they spent all of their resources to not even up the game. Okay? And that's if they open you up here. If they don't open you up here, then because it's VO, it's likely that they're going to win the cycle. But now they have cycle and no meter, 30 seconds on the clock, you know. If you overhead here, I'm gonna cry. You deserved that one. Sweet, sweet justice. Whoa. All right, relax. Yeah, so notice how you almost lost this round because you didn't punish Leffel for doing something like 60 seconds earlier that they should never be allowed to do. This set could have... Oh, you took sword? That's weird. Should take shield. Not there, though. Yeah, you see, it's fine for you to just, like, keep taking 2-2-V because your opponent isn't thinking about you taking these buffs at all. They're just, like... I don't know what they're doing. They're just, like, jumping around, throwing fireballs. Leffel is a fireball enjoyer. Whoa. Could have got thrown there. Layer 1. Yeah. This is kind of what I'm another example of what I'm talking about with, like, you can just... You should really, in these tournament matches, you should really be starting on layer 1. There's a reason it's layer 1, and it's because people don't do it. They don't know it. Against anybody who is experienced in this matchup, that's the most obvious +2 and 4-8 ever. So mashing there is like why, you know? But that's what layer 1 is for, you know? Layer 1 is all about killing people for not doing their homework or playing undisciplined. Of course, you don't always want to start on layer 1, but like that it just comes with gauging your opponent's skill level, you know, like against a player like you know, Wind God Dude, or I guess Money Tang now, Red Blade, Fox of 42, I would not expect them to fail the knowledge check of spaced 214A into 2A, you know what I mean? So I'd probably not go for it or not try to 2A after the 214 and just maybe try to abuse their knowledge, but that's, you know, metagame stuff that is based on your perception of your opponent's skill level. So being able to gauge your opponent's skill level is really important in that sense, but I would say you could stomp this tournament on layer 1, in my opinion. Like if you just stuck to layer 1, you just staggered them up, did your 2 and 4A, 2A, all that other stuff, just, you know, do everything else you're doing, these games look significantly more dominant. Yes, good, excellent. You should have done drill and done like C drill side swap there, but that was good. You see, they're not allowed to do that. That was good too. Got a VO here. I All right, it works out. Oh, awkward. And I just want to say, like, when I say that you could win this whole tournament on layer one, that's not me trying to be like toxic or trying to talk down to people. It's just the truth. I mean, in almost every scenario where spaced 214A into 2A has been done, they've been hit by it, or not shielded the 214A, or done any of the layer one stuff. You know, they're mashing the instant they get put in block stun. You know, they're VOing on wake up and in your strings. You know, it's like all this, you know, stuff that just dies instantly to layer one. You know what I mean? And you get hit a lot because I don't know if you're expecting more, or if you're just not wanting to play layer one for, you know, whatever reason. Like, I'm not the one who's there. You know, it could be tournament pressure too. So I don't want to be overly critical of that, but it's true based on what we've seen so far that if you just ran layer one with Wagner, I mean, you could even play ST Wagner and be fine. You know, you would stomp them. It's very important to test your opponents on layer one. If they don't know the counterplay, then they're gonna die. You should have just done 4 AA here. If they see DP or whatever, then like that's fine. You're gonna get the next cycle anyway, and it's not gonna like even up the health deficit or anything. So the situation doesn't really change that much if you get CDP'd there. If you get VO'd, it's a little different, like a little, but if you do 4 AA, you're not gonna get VO'd. So I would respect the reversals a little less. Take double buff. Can't win this cycle. That was nice. You walked back. It's sort of hard for her to deal with in this scenario if you just like walk back and do the ICFF, because if they do C pillar, then you'd probably still armor through it. You did the FF a little early, but you know there's a little bit of timing stuff there. So yeah, congratulations. I liked what I saw for the most part. I see your improvement. I see the things that you're trying to do better. You're playing a bunch of the parts of both the Chaos and Phonon matchup well, but you know, there's still some holes in knowledge there. I honestly think the biggest problem with your gameplay is your overheads, man. I mean, if you just look back at all of these overheads, these are overheads that would not be hitting players like Gosuda or, you know, Gosuda or Money Tang or Red Blade or Fox 42. You know, these overheads are not going to hit them. And it's because they're done at times where your opponent doesn't have a reason to do anything that it would lose to. You know, they're not being set up to kill shields very well. Your opponents aren't really mashing out with lows enough to like warrant it, you know? And they're not being layered with enough stuff, so it's all that your opponent has to look for. Like, the reason that I say that these overheads wouldn't hit these players with good defense is because there's just nothing else to look for. You're not rebeating and pressing a button, you're not rebeating and walking back, you're not, you know, no canceling sometimes. You're not assaulting when you rebeat to -1 at all. You're barely using 214A. You know, there's nothing else to look for. So all you've got is a stagger, right? And then a 26 frame overhead. And against somebody who is paying attention, that's just not going to hit. And that's a really big problem. I think that a big improvement that you could make after this tournament would just be playing layer 1. You have to knowledge check people, because, like, I'll be frank, a vast majority of the community won't pass the knowledge checks. vast majority. You would be shocked how many people don't know to shield 214A, or how many people mash after not shielding 214A. You would be shocked. Like, just in tournament, at the start of your sets, especially because these are first to 3, you have a lot of time. Just start on layer 1. String them up a bit, you know? Maybe play a little safely around their wake-ups, see what they do. Go to your layer 1, you know, grid mind games, and let the knowledge checks rip, you know, 214A, 2A. You know, Drill CS J8, although that one's pretty bad. That one's probably something that you could just get away with, like, almost never doing. But, you know what I mean. You could even be knowledge checking them with drill. You know, you could be doing 236AA and then just like doing ICJC stuff or double overhead stuff, or doing, you know, JIC236A CS. You could be doing JC whiff throw. You could be doing all sorts of these things that like normally you shouldn't be able to do if your opponent knows the layer 1 counterplay, but your opponents don't. So you need to use it. As like I said earlier, these games, if you played on layer 1 more at the start of a set and then adjusted from there, these games would be dominant. These games would be like these games weren't very close, but they would be like blowouts. I guarantee you they would be blowouts. So yeah, I see your improvement. I like what I'm seeing so far, other than, of course, the criticisms that I've given so far. Also, you should learn a route that preserves shield buff. That's really important, because double buff VO Oki is probably the most dangerous Oki in the game. So you need to be able to get that. You also need to be able to do the side swap routes. You're not doing the side swap routes. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, then feel free to shoot me a message. And yeah, I hope you have a good one.